Hello, welcome back. Last time, bonus puzzles seemed like they were winding down with a victory lap, though I still have a fair bit to go in the list, so who knows what could happen. I'm about to find out. B20. No symmetry, at least not enough to do anything with. That's what I thought. Okay, so that's not going to be enough to do anything probably. Let's check. Just barely not. 1141, not a chance. 1101 though, I know what that looks like. 14, that's the width of the grid by the way, 11 tall. What does 2223 look like? That, okay. 72. That's 3 of these? Yes. Okay, 161, do you suppose that's anything? It is. It's one thing? It's two things. Alright, 4, 3, and that's all, so it has to be like this. Okay. 1, 3. 3, 1, 3. So yeah, there's only one way that fits. 3, 1, 1, 1. Sure. 1, 3, 1, 3, huh? That's an exact fit. Okay. 1, 1, 1, 3. 1, 3, 1, 1. That's an exact fit. 1, 3, 1, 3. 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. 1, 1, 1, 1, 3. That's an exact fit. 1, 3, 1, 1. Do I know this? Yes, I do. Wait, do I know that? No, I don't. That's as much as I know there. Yes. 3, 1, 3. Don't know. 3, 1, 3. This must be part of a 3. That cannot. 1, 3. 3, 3. Okay. I think all of those were correctly concluded. So I know this is the 4. So these are the 2 1s. This row just caught my eye. How about this one? That's that and this. Then 2 and 1, that has to be there. This has to be a 2, so that's the 1. The 2 is somewhere in there. So this can't all be 6, therefore it has to be like this, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Uh-oh, we got a problem in this row. Something went wrong. And it was a bit ago. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. Alright, so something... I did have a feeling that something was going wrong in that area. I just didn't quite, like... Yeah, I think one of my 3s at the end I made the wrong conclusion on. Okay, so watch this row in particular. I had something impossible in there. Okay, trying again. Let's base things on something different. So I know this is the 4, I know this is the 3, so this column resolves that way. I know there's more I can do in the rows, but I'm just going to start this way. I know that's the 3 here. Okay, right, so doing this row. I know that's the 2, that's an X, this is the 3, that was my wrong conclusion before. These columns should look like the ones on the right that were similar. Yeah, because I knew things about that. Like, yeah, here I don't know what's happening down at the bottom. In fact, yeah, I can't make any conclusions about this, can I? Because this could be a 3, or this could be a 3 with a 1 here and a 3 here. Yeah, so I just don't know. Some of these were exact fits, though, like this one. And this one. And this one. Not this one. This one I don't know about. This one's exact. And I know those are 1s, but that's all I know. Okay, that seems like a healthier start. Alright, what else do I want to interact with? That's 7. That's already 7. So 2 goes like this, so that's part of that 3, resolving a few of these things. This is a 3, that's a 2, that's a 2, that row's done. This can't go here, this must be, so that's all how those go. A 3 and a 1 have to go like this here. Don't think I know about the 6 just yet, but I do know what that 1 is, therefore the 2 is not here. And it has to be here because there's no room for 2 2s here. Alright, there's almost enough constraints to fill in this row, but not quite yet. That 4 is finished. That's one of the ones. This is a 1. There we go. Now I can do this row. So this column's finished. This column's finished. There's like a lot of symmetry here, just not full, that's all. That finishes you. For a 1 to fit to the right of the 6, it has to look like that. 3 can't go here. Another 1 has to only go there. That's the 4. Here's that 1. Here's that 3. Here's that 2. Here's that 2, and that's it. Okay, that's better. Those are what? Distant houses? Distant castle? Distant city. Sure. 24. Fox 24. Ooh, wide one. That is the widest puzzle I've ever seen. A 20? Wow, what even is 20? Alright, let's go column-wise first, because that seems like it makes more sense. Just easier to parse the numbers that way. The rows are going to be busy. This is extremely in my right ear, and I wish it wasn't. Let's see, 3, 2, 1 means this. 2, 1, 4 means what? A lot? Ah! Game, why is your sound like this? Complaining about it won't do anything, but it keeps bothering me, so I'm gonna keep complaining until it doesn't. Which will happen when I'm done with the game. I know some things based on these two. At the very least I know this. Yeah, that's all, actually. So in that row, that has to be. In this column, that means nothing in particular. Yeah, it doesn't resolve anything. Okay, 3, 1, 1. This still could be a 3 or a 1. Alright, how does 4... Okay, 4 means this. The rest I'm not going to be able to put in. 3 and 8. Okay, so this 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. X, 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 X. 4 there. Okay. 2, 4, 1. That's interesting. Okay, so this one tells me a lot. Really a lot, actually. 2, 6. This one tells me less. Alright, 2 and 3 here tells me this is the 3, that is the 2, and those are all X's. X's there caps off this 2, and this one of those ones, one of those ones. 3 can't fit there. That's that 2, that row's done. Great, okay, I did finish a row. 4 can't fit here, it can only fit there. This is a 6. This is a 3. This is a 4. This could be a 2 or a 1 in the column. This can only be a 1. Okay, that's done some good things. Cool. 2, 4. Yeah, only one place that fits. Cool. 3 doesn't go here. Alright, now what? Now this. Okay, great. Now what? Notice that these can't end with anything when the x's are where they are. Okay, having placed those, is that enough constraints for any inputs? Nope. Alright, what else can I do? Let's try columns over here. Okay, here's something I can do. That's helpful. That's helpful with these. Oops, because I get to put in all of that. And this. Well, now wait, I always knew this couldn't have been a 3. That has to be a 1. I don't know whether this is a 3 or a 1, but I know that's a 1. Okay. 2 1 1 2s. Yeah, it's still way too much. Way too much to do anything with. 6 2, that's already a 6, so that's nice. Okay. Right, looking at columns. This column's done. That has interacted with this 7. Interacted with that 2. Actually, no, that 2 was already done. I think? No, this cell wasn't placed. 6 can only fit here in that row, by the way. Here we go. Things are happening. Oops, not that, this. Alright, this 8 can be finished like that. That row's already done, that's a 1. And now I'm back to not knowing things, right? 2 3s in here should give me an exact fit, actually. Whoops. What's wrong with that? This is one of the 3s. Okay. Didn't realize that. Okay, this can no longer be a 3, so I know all of that. Which means you resolve. You have to be a 1. You're that 4. This should resolve, yes. Okay, this is 2 dwarves on a mural. I see what's going on. Looking at... this is probably like the swirly bob in the middle or something. Maybe. Alright, here we go. I can input something with that. Can I input something with this? Interestingly, yes. Okay. There's a 1 here, and that's it. So that's where that one goes. That's where that... it's part of that too. So now that 3 gets a cell here, and 3 is all that's left in that, so I know I could have known that another way. But that's how I learned it. Alright, this now has to be a 2. Or sorry, a 1. This has to be a 2. That's that 2, that's that 1, and that 1. The 3 doesn't go here, this 3 does go here. This doesn't go here, so that's that. Oops, other way. Done? Done. Ah, crossed swords. Okay. Dwarves fighting in the past. Alright, 21. Can I blaze through the rest of these? It's gonna be a push. My right ear is slightly relieved, but not all the way, not as much as it should be. And that's a 9, by the way. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's an 8, that's already as it needs to be. That 9... This is 12 wide, so yeah, that's 3 wiggle. This puzzle is so tiny! Very, very small. That's capped. Is that 9? That's 9. That's that one, there's that, here's the last one. Okay. What's this? This is nothing discernible. It's a little blob. What even is that supposed to be? Good luck identifying that object! Alright, so... another reasonably small one. 9 tall. Whoops, I don't know that. What am I doing? Just because there's a 3 in that row doesn't mean it goes there. But now I know it does. Because the rest resolved. Okay, so... big empty space. What is this shape? That's an exact fit. That's a partial, that's a partial, that's exact. Oops. So that resolves those ones, except that's a 4. Okay. Okay, well, I know these 2s, therefore those 8s resolve, and that's pretty much the puzzle, isn't it? What else do you need? This? Yeah. Another just, like, nothing. It's like a little tiny axe thrust into a piece of wood in the background, and then a very tall pair of pants to the right. Okay, B23. Big one! 14 by 14. And some of those 14s are full. One. So I know this, and I know that, and I know... what else do I know? Because if this is that far down, it's not that far up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that is as much as I know. 6, 3, 1... 5, okay, where do I want to look? Hang on, so finish your row project. I think those are all correct. That should be like that for the 8. 6 would mean these things with what's already placed. 6 would mean those things with what's already placed. 2 on 1 means this and those. 6, 3 means something. What does it mean? These two? Okay. Alright, that's helpful. I think that's right. Why did you do what you did? Oh, because I placed that before I put the X. Okay. And 2... like that. That was an exact fit. This can only be one way. 12 shifted in a direction. 11 shifted in a direction. Right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. 10, 1... 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's still as much as I know. Okay, so 3 and 1 can't both fit down here, therefore... This is the 3? Yeah, it has to be. 5 can't go up there, and since that cell is there, I know this, and this, and this. 4, 3, 2. 4 can't reach here. And those only fit one way now. Alright, this 12 is capped. this 12 is invalid. Well, something went wrong here. Okay. So, did I input my 12 wrong initially? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm not going to try to fix mistakes when a thing has gone wrong, because that just could lead to a cascade of errors, and I don't want to be doing things based on false conclusions when I can start from a clean slate and do it again. Okay, so this told me what? These two? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, space 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. So redoing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes. Okay, so that's my starting rows. Some of these columns were exact fits, like this one. This wasn't quite. However, there still is only one way that it fits. And that tells me where the 4 in this row is. Alright, so I'm on a different solve path. No, not there. This. 7, 2, 1. Yeah, so something went wrong. This cell was incorrectly placed. I think. Not gonna evaluate how that happened right now. Yeah, this has to be. All of those have to be. Okay, so that tells me the full 11? Yes. That's nice. That tells me the full, most of the 4 here, actually. The 6 involves those and not these. Those are those 2s. Whoops, that's not a 2, that's a 1. Here's that 3. Here's that 1, here's this 4, here's this 10. By the way. Okay, this is a 3. This is a 3. Yeah, I'm a lot happier about the, oops, the way this is playing out. Everything just looks much healthier. Yeah, I'm gonna avoid doing, like, there's a lot of fruitful stuff that I can do before I get into the weeds and make a mess. Did I just mark this 4 like 1 too high or something? No, okay, so my 12 resolved the same way. Oh, no, everything was fine. It's just 12 is this wide, not this wide. Okay, I think I discarded a perfectly valid solution because of a miscount at the end, not at the start. I don't want to count all the way to 12 in the row, so I just, like, try to cap it off and let it highlight, and that's how I count. Again, this is a mechanical process. Okay, so 9, 2 resolves this and messes up the 6. Hang on, something went wrong. What did I do? 6, 1, 1. There needs to be another 1. This is what that 6 looks like. How did I X this out? I do not know. That part was definitely an error. That's the last cell. Okay. Alright, made a bit of a mess of that, but it's done now. Distant sun in the clouds. Alright, 24. I think I might be finishing today. Yeah, that's 8. There's a little bit of wiggle room in this row, annoyingly. That's fine. What about 2, 11? There's going to be a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5. Wait, I miscounted my 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 11 minus 6 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Ah! My eyeballs are not counting very well today. That's 6. This is 7. I can input that. Why am I going rows first? I don't know. It's just what happened. Okay, columns. Starting 1. The rest are all 1s. This at least must be a 1. All 1s. This at least must be a 1. 4. If you start with 4, that means it's like that. All 1s, and also exact... not quite exact fit, however, exact up here. Because 2 1s will fully take up that space. That looks exact. Let's put it in and see what happens. Yeah. Inexact here, but exact up at the top. Wiggle room of 2. So here, that's active. All 1s. No wiggle at the top. Exact fit. 8. That's 8. There we go. Don't know yet what this is. This is that 1, by the way. There's one more here. Okay, cool. 4 is constrained a bit more. The row could have told me that too, but I wasn't looking at that part. Here's the 3. Here's a 1. Here's a 1. There's another somewhere in there. 11. That's 11. Oops, that's 11. 2 1s can't fit up here, so this is a 1. That has to be a 3, so that's an X. Here's that 6 done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 2 can't go there or there. In the row. Column done. Column not quite done. Column not quite done. Column done. Row, well now I know that's a 1. Therefore I can finish this and this. Great. You're a 2. You're done. You are a 1. 2 involves that. Therefore all of those are X's. This is a 3. Therefore all of those are not anything. This column's done. This one gets those things. This column's done. This one is exact now. Oops, no, that's a false conclusion. It could be here. I do not know. This 3 can't reach down there. The 2 must be here. There's all 1s in this row, and this must be here. That resolves that 3. Still don't know. Yes, I do. That's a full row. Do I know this yet? Yes, I do. Okay. That's 10 like this. Therefore, that's where my 3 is. Here's that 2. Row is done. Column done. Column done. 7 doesn't go over there. This is 3, that's where that one is. This is 8, so it looks like that. One more 1 is here. There we go. What did I draw? I don't know. Scribbles. It's a boat? Yeah, it's a boat. Okay, that's like airship in the background in the ending. Alright, yeah, I think I'm finishing today. Alright, this is 13 wide. Wide. And 13 tall. Alright, so I got an edge early on, which will accelerate this greatly. Edges are quite valuable. Oops. They tell me so many things. 1, 2... Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in because I think it's pretty clear it's exact. Yep. So right, these are essentially additional edges. Okay, you're only 1s, whoops. You're only 1s. You involve a 4, therefore it looks like this. You're only 1s. Only ones. Only ones. That's a 4. Only ones. Only ones. Only ones. False. There's a 2 in there, but it's way up atop. That's a 4. Okay. Other things I know. This row is, whoops, done, like that. This is a 2, which doesn't reach down here. Therefore, this row resolves almost, partially. That's a 4, still don't know except I know that. Okay. 11 and 1, that's exact fit. Great, so that's where that 2 is. That caps off the 12. This is a 1. If this is a 4, it doesn't reach down here. And a 3 would have at least those? Yes. Okay, that tells me many things. I say, not being able to put in any of those things, so there's that. Here's this, therefore this row resolves. And this one does too, so there's that 4. 1 1 1, 1 1 1, yeah, just like building up edges from the bottom. Still 2 places for this, now there's only 1, there we go. Okay, so 4 is exact. 1 is done, 2 is done, 3 is done, 3 and then a 1 somewhere, and that somewhere is here. Okay, it's the back side of the airship, I think. Yep. Well, it's the middle. The very back is going to be here, huh? Okay, so yeah, this doozy is the final. Is it a doozy? It's large. But that doesn't mean it'll be hard. I suspect it will be. I'm gonna do this from the other end. So in this space, that means I have at least... I think that's as much as I know for sure. Yeah. 7 4, yeah, so 7 does have to be here, so it looks like this is slightly left of center. So the 7 here looks like this. 1 1 1 could be 3, so I don't know anything. A 7 must look like this. Hang on, 1 1 6. Okay, so all I know is that those parts of the 6... I know more than that. You can only fit up to 1 1 over here. Therefore, there is at least 1 here, therefore the wiggle room's actually 2. Yes, like that. Okay, that should resolve. 9 looks exact. It's not. Okay, 9 looks like this. What does 1 3 2 look like? Wiggle of 1. Okay. 1 2 1 7. Here's a 7. 7s look like that on the right. And that's all I know with that. Alright, so I have some edges. A little bit of some edges, at least. Okay, that's nice. Another column X'd out. Yeah, you have to resolve like this. You have to resolve like this. That 6 still doesn't tell me anything new. This 3 looks like that. 1 2 3 space 1 space 1 space 1. There is room, so I do not know the rest. Okay. Yeah, so it's funny how this just kind of splits itself in half at the very start. By the way, the 7 is done. Okay. Next steps. Alright, I haven't done full column evaluation. There is no way this will tell me anything. False! That tells me there's a wiggle room of 4, so I know 2 things. Again, my eyeballs cannot count today. Wait, with a 7116, I know there's 1 on each side, so I know where the 1s are. Yeah, okay. Still don't know how the 6 wiggles. But those are 1s. 3 and the 1s can fit over here, so I can't conclude anything from this yet. 4 tells me that. And this. 7 tells me that, and this. 5 tells me that, and these things? Yes. 3 tells me that and nothing else. 3 tells me that. 5 tells me this. Okay. What else do I know? There's a 1 somewhere in this column. This 3, this 2. This column's done. Okay, so 5, 3, 3, 5. Oh, careful. 5. Whoa, careful. I don't know either of those things, because there's a 1 still in this row to go. Okay. 3, 2, 4, 3 in the column, 5 in the column. This is a 2, that's a 5, that column's done. I think all of those are correct. 5, 3, that's a 1, there's another somewhere. 4 resolves. This is done. Okay, so once again, 3, 5. This 5 is complete now. Good. This 4 is complete. This 5 can be completed, this 3 can be completed, meaning that 3 is here, meaning this is a 1. This is a 2, there's nothing below it. Interesting. Now I can place part of this 5. And it joins in the 3 in the column. This is a 3, which looks like that. Okay, well that's... that column resolved nicely, most of the way. 4, 3, don't know. 6, 4, don't know. This 9 is done. Therefore that column's done, there we go. After it doesn't really matter anymore to have the edge one. That's fine. 7, and that column's done. Great. Right half, not quite complete, but if I do this, then it is. Alright, cool. Left half. Left half has only been interacted with so much. Well, 2 lets me X that, but the column does that on its own. Okay, this is a 2. Alright, so that lets me build a 3 in that column, and some 1s, and part of a 4. Here we go, that interacted in a good way. This 4 can't fit down there, this 3 could. 1, 2, 3, 4, space, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, so that's a new edge. Helpful. This now fits exactly. Still don't know if which of these is 4 or 3. Well, I know this is not 3 and this is not 4, but that's all I... Well, actually, no, I don't know. I know this is not 3. If I know this is not 3, then I can X that. Oh, by the way, this row is resolved. This one is 2. No. Okay, great. That's one of the ones. This has to be here, and this has to be here, so I know that's the 4. So I know this is the 3. Good. This is a 1, that's the 4. This is part of a 5, that is not. This is a 1, those are 2s. This is part of a 3, this is a 2, and that column's done, that row's completely done, that row's completely done. This row's completely done. This is a 2, so that column's finished. So that's where that 5 goes. Whoa! Okay. That had to wait a moment. Alright, so I did it. The game is done. And what did I draw? I guess, yeah, that's the backside of the airship. Okay, so everything is complete. Nice. Yeah, so like I said, it is, this list of puzzles was a little bit longer than I would have maybe preferred it to be, but it let me get thoroughly into this method of puzzle solving, and that was a whole lot of fun. And yeah, I'm just glad this is here in this game. It didn't have to be, but it makes the game better than it was. So, right. And yeah, I'm basically considering this a separate LP from Master Key itself. So one thing I do want to mention, at one point I got curious and I started a new save file and played a little bit through on a harder difficulty. And on the harder difficulty, the hardest difficulty, coins do not heal you at all, which changes a lot of things. On the second hardest difficulty, there's a bunch of more enemies in the world, which actually makes things kind of interesting, but also, combat was not really the highlight of this game for me, so I don't know, I only got this far with that. So I just thought I'd mention that because it was a thing that I tried and didn't feel like it was worth showing on video. Yeah, alright, so puzzles are all done. It scrolled to the bottom of the list this time. Okay, but now it remembers my... Alright, anyway. Alright, so Master Key is finished, and hey, I get to choose a new game for this slot. How often does that happen? Like, once a year at my current rate, seems like? Anyway, so next time, something new. I will see you then.